Hi, Virgo family. How are my Virgos doing? Oh my gosh, you guys. I know. I know the beginning of this year has been all over. I know that a lot of you have felt the intensity of the first 2 months of the year, and it has really thrown you for a loop. I know. And in fact, the note I have for my lovely Virgos, and I take this note too, being a Virgo moon, is be easy on yourselves. Why all this intensity and pressure? Virgos, part of the reason I think life feels really intense for you all is the intensity and pressure you put on yourselves to fulfill certain obligations, to fulfill certain identities and roles, to show up in ways you feel you've set standards for yourself that you feel you need to show up in order to be loved and accepted. You put a lot of work in that. You put a lot of pressure on that. And honestly, the way that the astrology is working out this month, it's kind of highlighting that for you. We have your full moon on the first of the month. So happy full moon to my Virgos out there. And when a full moon is in your sign, it highlights you as a person, as your value. I mean, honestly, what a full moon in your sign, in your natural element is doing is like putting a spotlight on you and saying, you have to have some self-love. You have to have some self-nurturing, some self-healing, honestly. And then, we have the new moon in Pisces just a couple weeks later on the 17th, in your opposite sign, right? Pisces is your opposite sign, your relationship to others, your relationship to the people that you love the most. And just, your one-on-one relationships. And that's going to be highlighting, what seeds you're planting. How are you pushing yourself? Are you planting seeds in relationships that are reciprocal and healthy and healing, right? So the moon is doing things for you, Virgos, that it's going to be pushing you to make sure you are checking in and that you are loving on self. Because I tell you what, even if you have an ideal relationship or, things are moving along very well, even if all that stuff's coming in and you haven't done the self-love, it will be very hard to perceive it. It will be very hard to perceive. So this month is a month about taking a breath. We have, still looking at all the notes here, we have a full moon on the 31st in Libra. That's, your second house of your money, your finances. So another moon that's highlighting self-care, right? Because the things we surround ourselves with, our home, our assets, are also, and you Virgos get this, are also a way we self-love. They're also a way we show that we are committed to ourselves and we respect ourselves, right? So all the moon action is like, are you respecting yourself as an individual? Are you respecting yourself in your relationships? Are you respecting the things you surround yourself with? And I mean that like in your relationship to yourself. I know that seems strange, but it's, you're getting highlighted on that stuff, my friends. We also have a Mercury retrograde happening this month in Aries, and Aries is your 8th house, you guys. So we're shifting from your 7th house of Pisces into your 8th house of Aries, and here's another heavy hitting energy for you. For you, it's kind of intense. Virgos, you have a really intense 8th house energy, which is this go-getter Aries energy, and you have Mercury, the planet of communication, going retrograde in that 8th house transformation. And this is, again, it's highlighting the fact that you need to check in with yourselves. You've got to check in, because I'm telling you, like, part of why it's felt so intense January and February is because the energies have been trying to get you to make sure you're looking out for yourself. Make sure that you're committed to yourself in your health and habit routines and not just giving away all your energy, not just showing up because you have to show up, not just doing things in the same way. And I mean, that's hard, Virgos, because I know you want to take action, you want to get things done, you want to be in there in the throes, you want to have a point-by-point plan. I get it, and it's amazing. It's such a great skill set, and everything has been trying to redirect you back to make sure that you're your own guidance system, your own center point. I'm waiting for one more card, and I'm really excited to talk about this. One final thing is we do have the Jupiter retrograde starting. It's a 4-month thing. It's not going to be super personal heavy hitting. It's a really healing Jupiter. And one thing to think about with that is just that, it's in your third house of communications. So once again, we're getting some calling here for you all to take a breath. Now, the other element I didn't think about with the Mercury retrograde is that that's your ruling planet as well. So, whenever you have your ruling planet, it's very personal, right? And so once again, slow down. But I think that's what you guys need, because I think the intensity of like the movement and the pressure on you the first couple months this year, it might be kind of nice to have these chances to check in, right? And not just have the high action all around you all the time. Okay, we have some complex energies going on here, and it's because every time there's an opportunity coming in, this is where you actually have to practice the skill sets of self-love and self-devotion actually more than when things are harder. I know that sounds strange, but especially for Virgos, it's like you guys kind of almost thrive in hardship. And when things start to foment, the love you want starts to come in, the person you want to be with, the career you want to have starts to come in and really establish itself. This is where you are actually being challenged to do the self-love, and it's trickier. It is. It's for everybody it's trickier, but for you guys, I think especially. So let's look at the first 3 cards. I'm doing 3 sets of 3. That's been like the new trend here, and I really like it. We have the Moon, 6 of Wands, and 2 of Pentacles. This is it, man. Okay. The fact that the Moon came out first is just amazing to me, because the Moon is our internal landscape, right? If we aren't tending to this part of our psyche, of our being, it will start to act up. It will start to make noise in order for you to pay attention to it. Now, there's some, there are emotional things that you're needing to address. There are emotional feelings, desires, places where you maybe need to rest that are calling for you to do that. So with this full moon, here's your full moon, right? Like, boom. This is going to be a really, really useful tool energetically for you to just check in. Just check in. Be kind to yourself on this day. Listen to this part of yourself, the internal moonlit part of yourself, because it's got some really beautiful things to show you. I think a lot of you will probably be having realizations about things that you've been doing, roles you have been playing or putting yourself in, that you realize, oh my God, why was I doing that? And part of the reason I say that is look at these 2. So these 2 came out with the Moon. Okay. These 2 guys are living totally different lives. This guy is doing it his way. It's very triumphant energy, and I do think you guys are getting set up to do some really new things. 6 of Wands energy is very much about feeling that you have made it somewhere new. You are progressing onto the next stage, but the only way you're going to do that is if you release this 2 of Pentacles. As I was saying about playing roles for yourself or for other people or for a situation, or feeling that you need to be the one who's responsible for everything all the time. The 2 of Pentacles is the guy who is trying to fix everything for everybody, who is trying to play multiple roles, and it's not serving anybody. All he ends up doing is juggling away over here. He's not affecting the ocean. He can't stop those waves. And you're being asked to much more take up the mantle of the 6 of Wands and let go of the 2 of Pentacles. And it's very deeply tied to some kind of emotional barrier you've built for survival purposes that has snuck into, your moon part of yourself. And now you're being asked to release that. Now, with full moons, like, there's a tendency to want to tell somebody how you feel, break off something that wasn't working for you anymore, do something erratic. But here's the thing, the goods in this full moon are really in the internal space, right? So this is going to be a great time to just listen. Just listen in. Make sure that you are really hearing where you're needing to change a dynamic. I mean, a lot of this might be relationship stuff, quite honestly, that's coming up, but it could also be with work. It can also be with people you work closely with. It can also be your friendships. There's something there that is making you feel trapped and hemmed in. And that has to be adjusted. So that's going to be the first thing. Like, first week of the month, you're going to be feeling that. Let's look at the next 3 cards, because here's where I was saying practicing your skills when things are going well is actually the more challenging and more important power time in the whole process of existing in vibrational world. We have the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the Star. So here it is, you guys, here it is. Okay, Knight of Swords. You may be dealing with somebody who has a bit of an edge. You know, they are willing to just say whatever's on their mind, dive in there. They may not be very tactful. This could come out as some kind of intense conversation you have with somebody that you're very close to. You know, Virgos, you also can be this kind of energy, honestly. You know, you have the ability to slash at somebody and tell them exactly what you think about their way of doing something. So this could also be you, but I have a feeling there's an interaction here where truths are coming out, somebody's saying something is getting lit up or opened up, and it could be really surprising, right? And it probably has something to do with the fact that you're no longer going to hold something and you're trying to shift the dynamics. That could cause some reactions. It could cause some reactions. You might be surprised how people react to that. Now, what's going to happen? You know, you're going to get triggered to go into Nine of Wands mode, which is like survivor mode. You know, this is the guy who has been through a million battles, seen it all, and now functions and operates out of this knowledge. It's like things that can't be unseen. So he no longer can operate in that more innocent level, right? This is also somebody who knows things. He has some street smarts and has established himself, has survived a lot. So you might be tempted with somebody coming at you or with a conversation like this coming at you, this Knight of Swords, this air energy coming at you. You might be tempted to dig your heels in and say, no, I've seen and done a lot and I know what I'm talking about. And I'm just going to go back to doing things the way that I do them, which is to hide behind my ability to just deal and rationally make it happen. This is like the old way, right? You're going to be very tempted to retreat into that when this comes up, right? However, the Star is here, right? The Star is here with this confrontation, with this conversation, with this shift in energy, right? Which the Star is about healing, right? Look at her. She's bringing healing. Slowly but surely. Gently. This is about reaching to a new level. And the only way we get to the new level in life, the only way we get to those new experiences in life is to be willing to sit with the wounds, sit with that part of ourselves that wants to go back to a different way, wants to retreat and hide, and recognize it and release it and communicate. This is also communication energy. This is more air energy. I don't know if some of you are dealing with an Aquarian or somebody with a lot of air, but this is energy of communicating what you need. How do you get, the Star is about the dreams, the big dreams, but how do you get those dreams if you're not communicating them? If you don't advocate for those dreams, nobody's going to know. This person over here, they don't know that you are struggling with something or that you need something to be changed or that you are having some of this, you know, battle remembrance stuff coming up and getting triggered in you. If they don't know that, how are they gonna join you on the path? How are they gonna know that you need this help? They're not gonna know. So part of your so step one is, you know, choosing yourself, not for other people, choosing yourself, listening to this heart center. Step two is communicating that, advocating for yourself to the people that are coming in here, because there is. Step three is trusting in yourself and the situation. And so, you know, we have this Pisces new moon. Setting those seeds of intention about your relationships is really important this month. We also have it right before we head into your 8th house energy and we head into this Mercury retrograde in your 8th house with your ruling planet, where it's asking you to transform. We are asking you to step to the next level, you know? And I'm feeling this with you guys. Being a Virgo moon, I'm living this, so I'm with you. But we have the 2 of Cups, the 4 of Cups, and the 5 of Swords. And here it is again, you guys. I know we've talked about this. You being your own worst enemy. Everybody struggles with this. Every sign has their own worst enemy mode. Every single one. Nobody is an exception. And with you guys, you tend to overcalculate, overthink it. You make things complicated because you're very good at coming up with the multiple ways things could play out. So we have the Two of Cups. Fantastic. There's a potential for balance and evenness here. You know, after all we've talked about, especially starting down here with the Two of Pentacles, to hit the Two of Cups is fantastic. Here's a partnership, right? Here's a reciprocity that's coming up. And I'm seeing this for a lot of you, that there is your deep partnerships, your closest friendships, obviously love relationships, for those of you married or even dating. This is that connection. This is that sharing of a love, sharing of communication, sharing of space. And somehow I see that, like that middle of the reading we were talking about with the Knight of Swords and the Star, somehow I see this coming full fruition in this warmth, in this warm opportunity. The Two of Cups is very simple. It's radical in its simplicity, which is that you can share an energy together that is good for both parties and that is open and forthright and giving. Like, whoo, I'm feeling that in my chart chakra right now, you guys. Woo. It's really important. But what is funny about this, you guys, I'm sure you've already picked up that behind that, we're getting all the layers. We're getting all the mental layers going here, you know. And one thing too, you know, Mercury retrogrades, they do tend to cloud the picture a little bit. We get a little bit paranoid sometimes because it's like everything's asking you to slow down and look internal. And so you're not getting necessarily the external recognition that would make the paranoia go down. And here it is. You know, it may be that you have some beautiful things developing, blossoming, flowering. It's going really well. It may be that. And then but it may take some time, right? It may take some time for that to fully manifest. That Mercury retrograde's lasting till mid-April. And there is generally a nice little like quiet breath before things really pick up. And it's easy to get in here. This is not reality. Unless you make it reality by thinking it over and over again. That's the thing with these two cards. So the Four of Cups is telling you, it's coming. Relax. Stop obsessing over here. Stop obsessing about things you said or done, or if it was right or if it's wrong, or if you somehow failed. Because it's coming. The more you relax, the easier it's going to be to turn your head and see that cup. You know? Same thing with the Five of Swords. It's like you don't want to trust somebody. You don't trust a situation. Once again, we were here, right? You're coming out of this Nine of Wands mode where you feel like you know what can go wrong. You've seen it. You've experienced it. You know you're very, very highly aware of that. So why wouldn't you assume that somebody is being sneaky? Why wouldn't you assume that somebody's doing something behind your back, especially with a Mercury retrograde in your 8th house? Why wouldn't you assume that, right? I'm going to pull one more card for you guys. Because I feel like landing on Five of Swords, which is just, it's the mental games we play in our own head. And I'm telling you, the best way to avoid that and to just leave it be, leave that energy be, is be honest. Just speak your truth. And don't take things personally, especially during a Mercury retrograde. Everybody this month is struggling with the start and stop energy that is going on in the sky. Like, it's very confusing, muddled energy in a lot of ways for March, and most signs are going through some kind of weird shift. So also keep in mind that, like, a lot of things are not personal to you guys. The Hermit came out. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that. That's amazing. Your card came out. I love it. Trust yourself. Seriously, trust yourself. Devote time to yourself this month. I am not kidding. If you do this, if you get into the truest, most beautiful part of Virgo energy, which is this ability to shine this lantern, right? These are truth seekers, your carers, your givers, your servers. When you shine that light on yourself, oh my God, all this other stuff falls away, right? I mean, when you look at this reading, it's very blessed. All the blessings are hanging around you. They're everywhere. Every single row of this reading has something gorgeous in it. And it does take time to meet you. It does take time to develop. Absolutely, it does. The things that are in this reading take time to develop. But they also require you to choose yourself first. I know. I know. It sounds easy. We think we're doing it. But it's sneaky how that self-care, heart love, loving yourself, saying, I am loved just the way I am, and I deserve that love to yourself. Sounds really cheesy, right? That's some real stuff. And I actually challenge all of you to take that moment every day. Make sure that you're doing that. Seriously, I'm going to cry. I'm a mess this month. And Virgos, you got to do that. Please do that for yourselves. I think you like to skip that step because you want to be going forward, but you got to take care of yourself on the soul level. Remember who you are. Remember the gift you are to the world. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. If you've probably noticed, I'm wearing this amazing crown by PinkLune. One lucky person out there will get to purchase this and take it home with them. I am going to leave the link for that below in the description box, as well as the rest of her shop. I'm wearing this amazing amethyst slice. This is something I'm keeping, but there are others that you can get, and they're just amazing. But this special crown is just for one lucky person. There's only one of them, so it's going to go very fast. So I'm so sorry if you were looking to get it and you weren't the one to get it. However, there may be more coming up with the crowns and moon magic, so there are things in the works. Also, I would love to work with you. I am traveling in March. However, starting in April, I will be booking more appointments. So please get in touch with me either with my email or my website, and we will figure something out. I'm sending you all the best. Take such impeccable good care of yourselves, and I promise these beautiful things are unfolding. And take a deep breath. Don't feed into the paranoia. You'll be fine. I love you all. Bye.